night on the south today. Up to 40 firefighters battle a fire which broke out in an Invercargill storage warehouse. A Southern country music competition aims to launch careers, but organisers are singing out for sponsors. And Queenstown streets are filled with purple e-scooters as a 2-year trial gets underway. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Hannah Wilkins. Southland Fire crews worked through the night and into today to extinguish a large fire that tore through a storage warehouse in Invercargill.
A thick black cloud of smoke could be seen from kilometres away, billowing out of this Invercargill palm kernel storage warehouse. Emergency services were alerted to the large fire around 4:30 on Thursday afternoon. During its peak, 9 fire appliances and 40 firefighters were battling the blaze. Fire and Emergency New Zealand says it was largely contained last night, but 2 crews remained on site to dampen down hotspots in the Lake Street building owned by Freight Haulage. Staff were evacuated quickly yesterday afternoon, and Fens worked with the building owner to bring in heavy machinery to safely clear the palm kernels. Bluff Highway was closed off as fire efforts stepped up yesterday, but the state highway was reopened to the public this morning. In Invercargill, the South today.
A suspicious early morning fire has caused damage to a property in East Christchurch. Fire crews were called to the blaze at a house on Seafield Place in South New Brighton around 1 a.m. 2 more engines were then called in to help fight the fire for several hours. Fens says the occupants of the home were later confirmed to be safe and well, with a fire investigator working on site today to try and determine the cause. The Southern Country Music Awards got off to a soaring start last year, promoting up-and-coming local talent. The event's targeting for a comeback later this year, giving performers another opportunity to climb the ladder to stardom, provided the awards can find a new sponsor.
Country music trophies waiting to be won, but only if new businesses are found to come on board and help support the South's newest singing competition. The Southern Country Music Awards got off to a successful start last year, attracting almost 150 entries for their inaugural contest. Multi-award winning singer Casey Dixon is the convener of the competition and says winners of the Southern Awards are also given a rare shot at stardom.
So we get to offer our winners entry to New Zealand Country Music Entertainer of the Year, which happens once a year in Tauranga. And yeah, it's the most prestigious kind of thing that there is in country music.
Before the new awards were launched, performers had to travel to the North Island in the hopes of qualifying for a place in the Nationals. But the future of the fledgling Southern Awards may already be in doubt, with the charitable trust behind the showcase now scrambling for funding.
At this stage, funding is a huge thing. You know, you've got things to fund like the band, venue, you've judges, all of that kind of stuff. Every factor imaginable costs.
Dixon's advice to young performers is to take every opportunity to get on stage. Her committee will continue to work hard to encourage new sponsors to come on board, allowing them to support that Southern talent and build on the momentum of last year's event. In Dunedin, the South today.
The Armed Defenders Squad attended an incident at a Heriot Row home in Dunedin late yesterday afternoon. The heavily armed 5-person police squad could be seen approaching an apartment complex near the corner of London Street around 5 p.m. The officers were heavily armed, equipped to enter the property by force and accompanied by a police dog. Officials confirm a 27-year-old man was safely taken into custody shortly afterwards. The suspect was charged with threatening to kill or do grievous bodily harm. E-scooters arrived in Queenstown this week, with the purple beams popping up at several locations around the CBD.
This is Queenstown's first taste of public e-scooters, with beam mobility chosen by the council to provide the new form of travel. Slow zones were added to reduce speed, along with a number of no-go zones to restrict travel to certain parts of the resort town. Beam has set the operating hours of the electric scooters to between 6 a.m. and 10 p.m. each day. This is the start of a 2-year trial by the Queenstown Lakes District Council to assess whether e-scooters may make it easier for people to get around the area. In Queenstown, the South Today.
A Dunedin Nano Brewery is taking their business up a notch by moving their operation into the former premises of an iconic local restaurant. Dogstar Brew Lab have brought out Zucchini Brothers with plans to expand their brewery and give the team more space to become creative with their beers.
Dogstar Brew Lab owners enjoying one of their own creations as they celebrate moving into their new location. The team are planning to expand the Nano Brewery after buying well-known Dunedin restaurant Zucchini Bros. Haddon Gamble and Saul Ross have been brewing together for the last 2 years. They were always keen on moving their operations to this character building on Princess Street and are delighted to be able to turn that dream into reality.
We've finally found a home. That's the best thing. And it's in a great part of town. It's in a fantastic historical building.
The pair are currently brewing just 150 litres for each batch of their craft beers. This move will enable them to eventually step up production to 600 litres per batch. But for now, they'll be taking advantage of their smaller brewing size to experiment more in their new home.
Now that we've got a venue, we can offer styles that we didn't have the opportunity to offer while we were selling to others.
The Dogstar Brewing team are still setting up in their new location, hoping to eventually offer food alongside their craft brews, with the goal of opening to the public by the end of the month. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Whakane, still to come on the South Today. A southern motorbike rider prepares for his third stint competing overseas, and stunning Dunedin conditions make for a great day out as FIFA's Unity pitch hits town.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Drive away your way with 3 incredible offers on the Honda CR-V Adventure Ready range. Choose from 2.9% finance with 0 deposit, third finance, or lease a new CR-V from just $136 per week. These offers are only available for a limited time, so be in quick. From Honda.
Aero, used by Australia's top bowlers with their unique Z-scoop grip that redefines the game. Machined with robotics for unparalleled accuracy, Aero, same line, every time.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
Mammoth March! No one beats John on price. His latest catalogue is out now and it's chock-a-block with big, hairy Mammoth March deals. Plus you can pay it off over 36 months interest-free. Mammoth March! This weekend at John's Furniture Warehouse, Stafford Street, and online at mymatejohn.co.nz. Mammoth March!
Where did you get that furniture from? Stafford Street and my mate John.
Tinakwe, welcome back. Southland motorbike rider Cormac Buchanan is preparing to return to Europe for his third overseas campaign. The 16-year-old's enjoyed a summer of strong performances at home, but admits this is a crucial year for his future.
Invercargill motorcycle rider Cormac Buchanan is loving his job right now and putting his international racing experience into practice back home. The teenager's unbeaten in both the Supersport 300 and 600 classes this season, heading into the final round of the New Zealand Superbike Champs this weekend.
At first it was really difficult, just like the whole new bike and just trying to understand how to ride it properly, and then once we started building confidence, then the results started to show through.
Buchanan's relished his past season back home and reckons it's changed his technique and style of riding.
The 600 is a different style of riding, and I think that's going to translate really well into the Moto3 bikes. Just the whole standing up and not carrying so much lean angle on these bikes.
He'll be taking those lessons, form and confidence with him as he returns to Europe next week. Buchanan's set to tackle a third and final year in the Red Bull Rookies Cup, as well as competing in the FIM Junior GP World Champs with his Spanish team AGR Racing.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm very optimistic for my season this year, so I've got big goals and looking forward to trying to make them come true.
But the 16-year-old admits this is a make or break year for him and is conscious of the need to succeed. Buchanan will be flying back to Europe with his father and mechanic Stacey straight after squeezing in his final race in Taupo on Sunday. In Invercargill, the South Today.
Blue skies in Dunedin made for good conditions for outdoor activities as 700 schoolgirls took to the pitch to show off their sporty skills.
Laughter, cheers and music ringing out over Dunedin's Logan Park. Fern Fever brought together hundreds of schoolgirls in an event celebrating women's sport and the 3 World Cups held here or on the calendar. This brightly coloured Unity pitch is travelling around Australia and New Zealand as part of promotions around the upcoming FIFA Women's World Cup.
The girls start to see it. If they can see it, they believe that it's coming, and then they get really excited and they go home, they want to buy tickets, they want to get involved, they want to play football, they might want to play cricket, they might want to play rugby. As long as they're playing sport, that's the main thing.
Injured football Fern midfielder Annalie Longo was in town as part of the roadshow and is keen to inspire more girls to get involved in sport.
It's just that opportunity and to see role models and female coaches out here doing it, I think it can really, be a huge impact on the girls' lives. So to be part of that and to, I guess, celebrate how far women's football is growing, it's nice to see.
The girls had the chance to take part in some football games and skills sessions, as well as being able to try out cricket and rugby.
It's so cool to have almost 700 girls turn up. The schools have given them their school, which is awesome. It shows that people are valuing girls-only sport.
More than 500,000 tickets have already been sold for the FIFA Women's World Cup across New Zealand and Australia. The Unity pitch will pop up next month in Wellington as activities ramp up ahead of the World Cup's launch in July. In Dunedin, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Firefighters were still working today after a large blaze broke out at a palm kernel storage facility near Invercargill. Organisers of the Southern Country Music Awards are on the hunt for potential sponsors to help secure this year's event. And a 2-year e-scooter trial has been launched in Queenstown, including go slow zones to try and keep pedestrians safe. And now we'll look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT, and we welcome the Associate Editor, Mike Houlihan. Hello, Mike.
G'day, Hannah.
What can we expect in the paper for the weekend?
Well, we've got obviously our usual mix of sport and the feature magazine, The Mix. Our main story, we're looking at the preparedness of the New Zealand Defence Force in case of natural disaster. Obviously, we've seen them do sterling work in the wake of Cyclone Gabrielle in the last couple of weeks. But we've got information back which shows exactly how stretched they've been to be able to provide that response and concerns about how well they'll be able to be dealing with a similar event in the future, which, given how important they are to getting those communities to recover, is incredibly important and worrying. We've also got coverage of the Otago Polytechnic graduation ceremony that happened today. We launched our quest for the Southern Farmer of the Year, which we revealed on the front page of the ODT last Saturday.
Yes.
And we're also looking ahead to autumn weather, which hopefully will be settled and fine, rather like summer has been.
Yeah, that would be lovely, wouldn't it? Mike, thank you for sharing this evening.
That's all right.
And time for a look now at the weekend weather.
The South Today weather, proudly brought to you by MoleMap, the skin cancer detection specialists.
Looking at the situation, expect westerly airflow for the next few days with showers at times on the coast, but mostly fine weather inland this weekend. Heading to the top of the South Island, nice and fine with southwesterlies and 23 degrees up in Nelson, lovely in Greymouth with similar conditions and a high of 20 degrees, and Christchurch looks good tomorrow too with 19 and nor'easterlies. Travelling to South Canterbury and North Otago. Clear skies and northerlies and 20 degrees in both Balclutha and Timaru tomorrow. Awamaru is looking a bit cloudy with westerlies and a high of 22 degrees. Heading westwards to the Central Lakes. Sunshine and westerlies to kickstart the weekend through here. Expect highs of 21 in Wanaka and Queenstown and up to 22 in Alexandra. Heading further south. Fresh westerlies with a few showers down through here on Saturday, up to 16 degrees apiece in Gore and Balclutha, while the Catlins heads for a high of 18 with southwesterly winds. And down to the deep south, showers and gusty westerlies with a low of 10 in Invercargill overnight. It's looking cloudy and cool for the next 2 days with showers on and off across the weekend with fresh breezy winds, up to 16 tomorrow and 15 on Sunday. And finally, heading to Dunedin. Cloudy and windy overnight in the city with 12 as the low. Saturday is looking mostly cloudy with changing winds across the day with a lovely high of 22 degrees. Into Sunday, another sunny day before afternoon showers with cold southwesterly winds come through and up to 21 as the high. And that's the news this Friday. For the latest news and videos from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz. You can follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand. And you can also now follow us on Facebook. Just search for the South Today NZ to see our favourite stories from around the regions. But coming up after the break is this week's edition of Global Insight, where Professor Robert Patman discusses the latest developments in the China-US relations and New Zealand's place in any future conflict. We'll see you again next week. Mā te wā.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.